Mama wange yajja wano in I think 2002 or 3. She left me very young in Uganda. And you can imagine, she didn't have a proper education. And by that time, Africans were like almost scum here. So by the time she managed to pull it up, because Mama Ngabduwanyumia story inspiring her, and actually, aside from biblical teachings, my mom is my biggest inspiration. Because Yangamba we are tukila wano ela most of the jobs that Ugandans bali bakola, unfortunately having to sell them their dignity for some money.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is CIM Media. A channel gutwogerera ku encouragement, motivation and Christian content. If you have a testimony that you want us to shoot, you have a story that can touch a person, can change a person, you will reach out to us and then we have an interview with you. Like today we have our guest, the Miss UAE Uganda, the Miss Uganda UAE 2025-2026 in the house. We are going to have a story with her and I pray that you be blessed.
Hello.
Can we know who we are talking to?
Okay, actually, my name is Mildred in full. I'm Mildred Soboga, and I'm Miss Uganda UAE 2025-2026. Yes.
In the house, we have Miss Uganda UAE 2025-2026. Now we are going to use Uganda mkwano. Kubanga tuli presenting Uganda. Kale, so tugenda kubeera tumanya butya bwe kyatandika okubeera nga getting into Miss Uganda competitions in the UAE, how the journey was, the challenges, of course, the things that she can at least share with us if she doesn't mind. We know about her anyway. So I will start with something small. I want her to introduce the more of herself. The name we have gotten, she's in Soboga Mildred, residing in
Sharjah.
And I don't know if you okay sharing the profession.
The profession, I'm an office admin. As well as I do help my family run our family business, which is a restaurant.
Okay. Then we have other questions to ask about. Anyway, we want to get something, something small about the concept behind coming into the Miss Uganda UAE. How did you come up with this concept? How did you wake up to this idea? Because you're a Christian, right? And we have seen this being so much in the world outside. How did you come with this concept though?
Actually, that's a very, very interesting question. Okay, we're going back to the Uganda part. Okay. So, like when Nalaba, I think Nali on TikTok, then Ninda Banga Balina, some press conference, it was the patron Miss Uganda, Ali Miss Ashley Quality, Yaliko with the previous Miss Ugandas. I think they were at a certain Ugandan restaurant in Dubai. So Nimbala Banga Balimko preparing to making preparations for the Miss Uganda this year. And then I saw them, I'm like, oh nice. Eli Abawalava aspiring or like modeling and things like that. But obviously I scrolled past it because it was not my thing. And then I leave it there. So later I go to YouTube. I think I was on, I was not, because in my YouTube usually brings you the people you interact with. So it recommended the video. I had not interacted with UG Vibes at YouTube. They never recommending another video, and it was the same press conference there. So I was like, okay, why not watch it? I think it was more than 30 minutes. By the time I sit down, more than 30 minutes. What's the heart behind it? So they introduced themselves because I wanted to be like to think about such things. We are like to the mundungu, where do they even get the time for this? So I watched, the lady spoke, Miss Ashley Quality, and then Nayogelaku, the vision behind it. And it's mainly to inspire Ugandans, because Ugandans right now in the UAE, Tuina, I wouldn't like to say this name, we don't have a very good image for many years. So it's one of the efforts she is doing for people to see Uganda as it truly is. Because many of our brothers and sisters, they've fallen into some traps, weaknesses here. And then at the end of the day, it paints our country a certain way that it's not really. So in a pageant, Habela Yagalo could the beauty of Uganda, the brilliance of Ugandan women, and what Uganda actually brings to the table as you know, opposed to what other nations bring. So in Nalabanga, the vision aligns with my core values. I was like, maybe, but that's known to when I actually applied. So she's like, okay, you can apply and do this. I think it took me a good couple of weeks. Kati, I had to first go on social media and try to search the previous pageants. Bali Batia. Katinga Wogami, yes, I'm a Christian and not just a regular Christian, but like, you know, a devoted one. I'm from Fanero, if the watchers don't know. So Ningamba, I'm like, cause I know a bit about the Miss Uganda in Uganda. So Ningamba, okay, enelabika elingange eli. Then I'm like, ndaba no nalimanyi how the beauty pageants are run, most especially in Uganda and also sometimes across the world. Like they have to do a lot of things. Sometimes that when I searching about it because I wanted to know how closely it aligns with my values so that like when jingilam I will not have to compromise a lot or it will not have to push me to do certain things. Because nali manyi about Uganda, we babela ne the Miss Uganda, and sometimes babela ne bikini shows, and certain clothes are very revealing. So that was a very big concern for me. Now in Nigeria, I looked up videos of the previous years, Nindaba how the girls were dressed. I saw some clips from the boot camp, and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty decent. And then also the fact that Elimo, an Arab nation, obviously decency is going to be a key factor. So then I zeroed down on the decency. I'm like, okay, there's no question about the decency. But still, I was not, that did not make me drop my application yet. So, Nensoka Nengamba, okay, should I not? Should I not? And then I was like, okay, Nentunoya, the bigger picture, actually, the main reason I did enter it. Because I believe at some point, like, city the standard, but I believe what I have on my life is a key inspiration to someone out there. Ela ninalinchikiriza nti me entering this pageant would kind of give me some coverage, people to see that it's possible for a Ugandan this age, this gender, to be in such a country and to be, you know, kind of doing okay in life, yeah? Because, you know, people become what they see. So I was like, okay, for good in my country. And then I sent out the application. And then I think right after Miss Ashley called me back, she asked for the other details and all of that. I sent her. And then still I was like, okay, in case I find something that does not align with me, I'm dropping out. So I was still not so sure. So nenteka my application, sasa ukagamba my family. No one would believe it actually, because sili muntu or beauty pageants. Like I've always been a very, very shy person, very laid back. And one of the things that are concerning actually, I'm like, oh my goodness, to take a lot of makeup, and I don't like a lot of makeup. But then I was like, okay, and that should have been like, because we're trying the boot camp, Miss Ashley at once here was like, what's your selfish reason for joining this pageant? And my selfish reason was I wanted like my personal growth. Nalinjaga neteke in a situation where I've never been before, and I see how I react to it. Nayenga, so I placed in my application. She got back to me. I did everything. A few days later, I first told my sisters, and then I strictly told them, "Nemagam, tumgeza nemugamba mother or father," because they might get so like excited, or I didn't know how they would react. I think I said about a hopes up because I knew I might withdraw at any time. So I told them, and then later I'm like, okay, demugenda into this, I'm going. Ate naturally chanetela oxigalam when I found out that, you know, for the previous years, I think Abu Dhabi was taking it, and Sharjah was so silent. The way I love Sharjah, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and represent Sharjah as well. So
kulonde kuba Saudi president.
I'm the twin president already, really sure.
That we can start anything to money. Nakyo tukitanda.
Kino ekisanja nga kiweddeko maybe.
Chani.
Ekya Miss Uganda.
Okay, so thank you so much for such it's really nice. Chiulikika bulungi because the reasoning and the concept behind is enough to draw up another person maybe. Yeah, Miss Uganda bakiriza okuddamu okwesimbawo.
Wobera ng'oli finalist tosobola kuddamu kwesimbawo. Like nze I took the crown, then the other two, first runner and second runner up, tebasobola. Neither others can.
Gwe tosobola osobola.
Sisobola.
Maama obukulembeze buno nga bwo bunaaba bulungi. So for you are gone.
Completely.
So it's only in the records.
Yes.
So another thing that I've actually captured from this is that it was not only for you to be calm, because some people just go in ngabaina other is, maybe let me call it a backup or something that is behind the coming in. But for you, it was, you mentioned something of you wanted to usher yourself in a certain place you've never been, and then to see how you're going to react about it. Is that one defeating a weakness?
Definitely is, because I can tell you I had a lot of character development in that, because I've been raised in a place where like I've been overly like so protected from my parents, my sisters, like everyone around me protects me, and I've not been so much in a situation early like where I have to interact so much with people of my own age, like dealing with them and stuff like that. So I can say I conquered that fear, like, but there's Simani so much na, like how to associate so much with people because I'm very shy, laid back. Neither gave me a certain exposure, it gave me a certain maturity, it gave me a certain growth. Really, the change is evident.
Ebiseera ebisinga bwe tubeera nga naddala the Christian community, sometimes when you engage yourself into certain things, like now this one, there are so many, I call it, feedback that comes from different people who are watching us, because everyone has their own values and a way of, the way they perceive the faith. Have you not found some challenges in that sector, because they know you to be a church girl, and then they see you talked about it, the dressing code? Have you not found such things?
Actually, honestly speaking, I expected that whatever you explained, but I've really not faced it a lot. I guess it has to do a lot with the ministry I'm from. Fanero people are not the kind of people to just bicker at you, never gamba or genze muchintu chensi. I think you see how even Apostle Grace, deals with even other people's around. Because Ojukila, in the story of Jesus, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they kept on blaming him, Bo Rachi, Oliane, Abanywa, Abetunda, and everything. But his answer was astounding. Yes, we have a gambanti like Naja Eli, like, Bebo Abarade, Beba Betaga Omsao. Kati when you think you're fine, so do without me. But these people, they know they have addictions, they know they have habits, so that's where I'm supposed to be. Atena chinzizayo ne what Jesus said before ascending up. Nagamba, like yagamba babayita abagobelezi n'abagamba nti sisaba nti kitange abajje mu nsi like n'abawoninga n'abagamba bingi bigenda kujja mugenda kufuna okuvumirira n'olwokuba okunzikiriza naye mubeere like be strong and firm. Sisaba kitange nti abajje mu nsi wabula nsaba nti even in the world like you occupy. So it's like when there's hardships in the world or anything, yes utasaba nti tuvem. Wabula we have to be among people, because how are you going to influence people if you're far away from them? Like if you're closed up in the church and these other people you don't interact with them, bagina kumanyotea the light you emit. It's like something Apostle usually says, those that dwell in the light that no man can approach. Yeah. So I didn't face Fanero was very supportive, specifically Manifest UAE. You guys posted me on the statuses. You guys voted daily. You guys showed up. Oh my goodness. I was just so overwhelmed. So for me personally, I did not experience that.
Because you talked about you not being a person, a social media person. I think that can be one way or the other you are saved from this, because you do one thing and then they hit you like, they even have someone said there are those deputy Jesuses in the world. Like they are so perfectionists. I mean, they perfect everything. They do everything like they are the next Jesuses. So, anyways, this one has really inspired me as a person, because you talked about the place of looking at the Ugandans unveiled, because we have an image that we really portray here, or that we present to the world outside. I was talking to one of my friends and I told them the reason why we see certain spaces are not yet accessed by Ugandans is because we have a certain cover we have given, or we have put on ourselves, or we have a certain way we appear. And this is because the way you present yourself to these people is the way they are going to perceive you. So for you standing out as a church girl, to become this. Maybe it is inspiring another girl in the church that is going to become this person, because you said you're not coming back. We would want to vote you. So kati tugenda kola tutya.
We just have to live with it because that's how it works. We have to give chances to the other girls coming also.
Another thing I want to ask you, you have been, in this land, you have seen how the environment is, you've seen how the Ugandans are treated, or you have seen how the people of this land have, translated Africans to be in general, because this not only Ugandans, but it's for Africans, of course. But of course, if we have some people who have come out, who have stretched out, Africans, but they have stretched out. What advice or what word would you, deliver to a person or a Ugandan that is watching, or any African akulaba? Because when you look at you, I didn't hear anything about coming here to be maybe a cleaner or anything. The profession you talked about was and even the things that you're doing right here, even to have an idea that Ugandans here can make businesses and they stand. What word would you want to deliver to a person, or encourage a person out there, mostly the girls of your age, because we are seeing them being taken by the pressures of this world, the desires, What do you do to maintain your, what do you call it? Can I call it the, what do you do to maintain your incense? You don't lose yourself for things that other girls out there are losing their incense for.
Okay. Thank you again for that question. The major key, actually, because with Watoka in this competition, our patron, Miss Ashley, she's actually Muslim, if you did not know. Yeah. So I think one time, even before we started the boot camp, I'm not sure. I think I asked her a question in line to such things. And the answer she gave me, because still then I was still contemplating. I'm like, if I find something, I'm dropping out. But then she was like, don't lose yourself. Actually, I was so shocked coming from her because, it carried a depth. She's like, don't lose yourself. And within that, she meant many things. She's like, you come with a certain identity, stick to it. Don't fake, don't see anything. And then she was like, we know a queen when we see one. So in that case, I would advise the girls my age, like never lose yourself. And how are you not going to lose yourself? Because, still the Bible teaches us about, Jesus told the parable. Olugero yagamba ku nyumba eyazimbibwa ku musenyu, then eyazimbibwa ku rock, and then another type. Okay, alright. Olwazi. So it also depends on what your core values are built on. Like for me, my identity comes mainly from the church. My parents like Bankuziza a certain kind of way with some values. They're like, regardless of how hard life pushes you, stay kind, stay good. And then I also know what Jesus teaches, what Apostle teaches us. So I have these values inbuilt in me. It's like I'm not losing my dignity because of anything. And of course, anyone there might be like, okay, you're privileged, you had this. It's like, because I've been told a lot of that. And I would be like, yes, I have been privileged, but the people who have made me privileged, which are my mom and dad, they weren't so privileged. Kati, okay, I didn't come here working, I came here studying because I was, my dad's visa, till today in Diku, my dad's visa. Like going back to the stories of my mom and dad, mama wange ajja wano in I think 2002 or 3. She left me very young in Uganda. And you can imagine, she didn't have a proper education. And by that time, Africans were like almost scum here. So by the time she managed to pull it up, because Mama Ngabduwanyumia story inspiring her, and actually, aside from biblical teachings, my mom is my biggest inspiration. Because Yangamba we are tukila wano ela most of the jobs that Ugandans bali bakola, unfortunately having to sell them their dignity for some money. And by then, it was actually they would get more money than today because African women were rare. And then during those days, Malimu, Abasaja Banja, Abazungu, and they wanted African women. Actually, many of them ended up marrying them. Naye kati mamange omukyala gwe yatuukirako, in fact akyaliwo even up to now. I think her name is Aunt Asha. Many Ugandans know that name. So yamugamba nga Anet bw'okola ekintu kyonna kyonna teweetundanga because that life is just not for you. Because we've seen women who sell themselves that, first of all, that lifestyle is characterized by a short lifespan. Many of them die early, and it's so sad. So namugamba teweetundanga. And then my mom used to cook food and make hair. You know the small twists in Uganda a long time ago? Katiwaneno. Yeah, because mama is because you know these ladies who used to do that trade for business, the ones who were giving away their dignity for business. But mama bebalinga, yeah, bebali bebali gundi ba clients babasinga because jukila ye ainanga that hard to work nkati abakoleze enviri twists nga naye butono nnyo because many other women they bite baga zisiba abantu because they take a lot of time. Nenga yaliwo ng'abukolanga like for a head kayinza okucharging omuntu like 1,000 dirhams and they had it because you know they used to sell themselves to very rich men and they would get a lot of money. Then nanyumizanga how they would mock her like, you know, you have kids, why don't you get quick money? And then she would be like no, and then they would also abuse her. But sadly to say, many of them are dead right now. Like buli wanyume nomgama okay unomkwana gwalewa yafa achi. Like that lifestyle is characterized by a very short life. So ndi mukugezako kugamba muntu aliyeyo like ogamba nti ombadde so privileged and everything. Like this generation at least we have some education at some point. Like no nga te wagenda musomero at least you know how to use a phone and everything. But my mom yeah jano teasoma. She didn't have an education. She was a very young woman and she had kids on her back. So by the time she managed to make it, I think that she didn't sell her dignity. Because she met my dad. My dad is white. He's from Poland. Like besanga bonna bato at that age. And ate bonna bonna bali separated. Because niye in a divorce. So he had a good job, but still you're in a child support. Umanyezi nsizi in a child support when you separate from your spouse. And the child support is so high. So Yaina paying a child support for 3 boys, Nancy Ndika. So he really was not like they are lavishing my mom with money as he could have because he still had young kids. And then the friends would be like, you know, toina magezi, virtually koyo mzungu, mtoa taina center, you know, because they had many, the older guys who had families and they came here for a while. And then she stick to him. But now see, they've raised us, me and my siblings right now. Encouraging our people who are there who don't like to take care of their kids, both men and women. Okay, oh, it's a burden, let me live my life and be happy. Nebo kula at a certain age, you'll be lonely and you will not be able to party like you used to. Anyage no kubelelao. I see my parents and I'm like, okay, now that they took care of us, they prioritized us, they're able to enjoy our presence. We enjoy their presence. They've done a lot in our lives. They never gave up on us. So take care of your kids. Don't lose your dignity. There's always a way. There's always someone ali less advantaged than you. Magambi. Mama wangete ali advantaged at all. Tata wangu yamali successful child support when the boys were grown. That's when he started, you know. Of course, he was promoted. He's been working at the same company. Every year he gets promoted. And then they made the bold decision in 2014 to move me here. And I came here studying, you know. So, yeah, I think I'm done with that. Now, it's not that I'm too privileged. Mgawe magambi story ya mama ngeti yali too privileged na yeye andese wano. Kati now yinzo banga totally as privileged as me. But make sure you do it for your kids and your children's children. Yeah.
Oh my God. So I've seen that I think mom is a pillar in this thing. Okay, when they came to know that you have dropped in this, you know, the application to be Miss Uganda, you tell us how they reacted because the first place was you don't know how they're going to react. Okay, then how did it happen when you told them I'm in for this?
Oh my goodness, they were so excited. They were very excited. Both mom and dad, they were like, oh my goodness, where are we voting? And then they started telling everyone they know. My dad told his friends at work. And then my mom also told everyone. And everyone was voting. Even here at the restaurant, they were so happy. Because they know I've always been this very shy, laid back person. By the time I'm going out there, because my mom had always been pushing me from day one. She's like, you know, try do content, do your art, showcase your talent, do this, make videos. So she was really happy. My dad too, and my sisters, everyone was happy.
So, never nang, come on. So, mom has been the one person you have been looking up to. So, anyway, there are some things that really actually have been raised by my mother alone. Not that I didn't have a chance to, have a father, but I had my father and I lost him at an early age. So I don't know any love of a father, really. I don't know any love of a father. Sinayo mkwano gwa tata gwe mmanyi nkuziddwa maama. So when you talk about a story of your mother, I really can relate, and I can actually tell you that those mothers have been everything to us. And the fact that she even supported you, there's no way you could not make it through, because it's always that one voice that we want to push you. There are some parents who are always discouraging their children not to. And what made you delay to, tell them?
What made me no, because I knew my mom would be super excited, and because remember, I still had reservations. I'm like, okay, if the competition has this and this, I'll drop out. So I did not want to get her hopes up. Nalisagala, kumusubiza chitali iyo. Like, so I placed in the application. I still had to do a lot of background research, and then afterwards tell her when I know I'm not gonna drop out.
Kakati, banange. Okay, I'm still on this point of lwaki anyway kijja kitya okubanga maama onga bwongambye yakukozanga mwana wa church bwe yakifuna kino how did I want to get that part of she looks at the Christian part of you, and of course maybe she didn't know what you knew because you made the research of the videos n'olaba nti akwete babeerayo bati values zange zimatchinga nezaabwe ye maama yakirabiramu ango ki?
And my mom, Tiaina, any concerns regarding that? Actually, because Onzijukiza, one of something she told me once, because most African parents do have that time that they tell you what they went through and all of that kind of stuff. So most times, Mama ngo yalinga nyumia, her era here when she had just come, and then she was making the hair of the girls that used to sell themselves and all of that. Then Nagamba like mweyo period yayiga ebintu bingi, because before actually naye yali a church girl before coming here. Yali amanyi nti oba like bano abantu abeetunda oba they're not human, that kind of stigma. It's like, oh, they're not holy, I'm holy, and all of that kind of stuff. Naye angamba kyeyayiga interacting with these people n'agamba bantu balina emotions, talina kyagenda kukola okutuula okumpi naye okwogera naye bantu nga ffe. So HHR, like me coming from a church background, then her being worried and all of that kind of stuff. She was not worried a single bit. She was not.
I think it comes from kiva mu kifo kya muzadde kubeera ng'ategedde omwana we na biki byasobola okukola ne batasobola kukola, right? Kakati n'ekirala taata waffe ayayaya muzeeyi, how was muzeeyi? Because I think for him he would be a supportive person because of yes, because bebe tebakirinaako buzibu. Kati ye muzeeyi yali ati.
Oh my goodness. He was so happy. Yali musanyufu nnyo. In fact, till now, he's like, tola banno byo posting ngenda kugulira kino okole kino, because I've been a loyal Samsung customer. No offense to Samsung. Naye these days, the flips. No, yeah, the flips. They're the ones that flip, because generally njagala nnyo like obusimu butono bosobola carrying in the pocket. So I've been very loyal to Samsung. But the last two Samsungs I've owned, flips, like they get that damage in the middle for no reason. So my dad was like, no, the ones that you contested with, everyone is holding an iPhone. Why don't you get an iPhone? So he just recently got me that. He's like, you have to get good pictures every time. So when Belaong, I'm just doing nothing, he's like, Yang Tugende, let's go get some pictures for you to post. He's very happy about it. He's
supportive. That's very good. As parents, we have to be supportive to our children. Abaana baffe tulina okubeera nga yeffe kobazi omwana omuntu yenayina ndowooza nti wabeera nga talabira ku muzadde we nga kyakulabirako. They are going to seek other examples ezitali lively oba sometimes eziba ndesisuutinga mu mbeera zaabwe ez'obuntu. Kakati ekirala kyenjagala okukugamba oba kyenjagala twogereko, the inspiration is got maybe from the mother who even never got a chance. When did Miss Uganda UAE start, if I may ask?
Miss Uganda UAE, I'm the fourth. So Kandabe Wario, I think 2021, because why not Kubela Queen Elio 2022. So 2022, 2023, 24. Yeah, yes, since 2022. Yes.
Have you met the 2022 queen?
Yeah, I think I did. But for sure, I have met the previous year and also the year before. All the girls, like, You know, people obviously Bajagamba, Bamubide and stuff like that. Because there's someone who, one of the very first comments, whatever videos you're not posting are after it. I think you were the one that took the pictures. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the pictures, and some of the videos. So when I'm posting out, when my dad was very happy and hugging me after the announcing, and then someone was like, "Oh no, yes, take sent." So they're like, they relate, the white image to all of that. Nenga, the thing is, there is like what only the previous queen and the queen before and the one before, and then you put us together. You will definitely find a link. You'll be like, this girl somehow is like this one, but I can't tell the point, how exactly. So there is always a quality they're looking for, and we're not so different. Okay, we're different with individuality and every other thing and background, but there is something they're always looking for, and every queen has. Yeah.
Because I think was it popularity muchita mcha? Okay, I think you were second, right? No, you were second. Then pechiba chakuteekamu sente kitegeeza eri baali bataddemu because I think the more votes is the sentence baali bateekamu so bwe guli. So anyway, the thing I want to emphasize, or the thing that I wanted to, actually the image that I wanted to shed for us here is, are you not going to attend? Because when you enter into this world, bw'ogezaako kuyingiramu eno industry gy'olimu kati olwaleero, kitegeeza it's going to call you for other ventures which might not be aligning with your values back here again. How are you going to be able to, it's like ekiringa kugamba nti ngenda kubeera nga, I'm giving an example, ndi mulokole naye ngenda kukola nga mu bbaala. No, I'm just giving an example of that. I'm not saying this is the same thing, but I want to give the example, based on this. How are you able to maintain your person, the dignity that you carry as a Christian, and this world you are coming in? Because it calls for competence. It calls for some kind of you being able to align yourself somehow so that you can fit in. You get what I'm saying? How are you going to be able to? Because if you come into this, you're going to go in for another. There is another level you're supposed to be going up and up until there we go. How are you going to be able to maintain this? Because say you can tell me, okay, it's my first time, I can continue, I can be in this man mwaka gumu gusolobera ono gamba tekimenya ekitegeera kati buli bwogenda ng'ogetinga into you somehow ogenda obeera absorbed the dressing codes, because you told me previously that engoye wazikuwa ezimu nogamba azino zo sizza zambala get kati, but sometimes it calls for that dressing. How are you going to be able to tell me nti ogenda kwambala nga Gomez kubanga we want to be decent and to kukuumayo
Masses. Okay, that is actually a very, very, very good question you've asked. Kubanga echo actually chilinga ebiziza, let's say most of the Christian girls and actually Muslim girls from entering such things, because also Muslims call for a lot of modesty. Now here's the thing. Tebagenda, they will not force you to put on anything. Kati, for example, an example, I was at one event, I don't know, Winterfest, Vibes UG. Yeah, Winterfest. So basically, I was going there to show an appearance, obviously, as Miss Uganda and all of that. And I asked for like clothing ideas from our designer. Then, of course, he shared his clothing opinions that would look nice on me, for my shape and all of that. But I was frank with him. Nemugamba, zino sasa wazambalanga like, a Christian because of my faith. He's like, no problem. You can look for something that's decent. Like, they're not going to be like, yamba kano kanoko yambala. No. First of all, you communicate. You see, life is in our mouths. Like, the power to communicate, it's right within me. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to wear this. And he's like, yeah. Because we have, by the way, Miss Uganda this year, was she Miss Popularity? I don't remember her name. Nay, she was a hijabi girl. And actually, within the boot camp, I also asked, everyone around. I'm like, but how do they do it in Uganda? Like, is every girl supposed to do the bikini and everything? They're like, no, no. Like, you have your clear cut lines. And just to differ, in the beauty industry, tell you so much of, let's say, anything extra. This is the beauty industry. And where do we get beauty from? We get it from God. God created us beautiful. So it's like if me as a Christian have stepped my foot into the beauty industry, it's like, I'm setting a realm there. Kati chineno nchogambi nti, how will I balance it being a church girl and then, let's say techikomawa I might want to go for other levels. It's a very good question because I've already thought about that. But still, it's not just about wanting to go to a higher level. First of all, mbela nino kwe measuring. Do I have the mental capacity for this? Because being in a vinto, it takes a certain kind of brevity to come into them. Kati, all of the girls that came together with me in this year's Miss Uganda UAE, fena you had to let go of some fear. Not all of us were very confident, by the way. Because stage much about, oh, we're doing this, but we attained that confidence there. Fava Yom boot camp, coming with this and that. Like, how will I balance it? No one really forces you to do something you're not going to do. And I think I was very vocal about my standards and limits, that Nayogi Lounge, the singing a bang, a nyambala, a crop top. And even in the camp, I was not the only Christian. We had other Christian girls. They communicated their limits and they were respected. They didn't force us. I tell you, what maybe could have popped out was the finalist dresses. Because as the finalist dresses, tebazipima before. Because obviously, tebamani ani agenda winning. I think the first outfits we wore, twajila in the black pants, then I only tuzina. Then next netujila mo the attire that had the Ugandan decor, and then netujila in the white. Those ones were measured. Naye the finalists were not measured. Kati awo the finalists we bali batuwa ebiteteeyi. Elo of course I was like, okay, this is gonna be too short. Naye nga Mr. Abbas yatu designing. So kubanga already yali amanyi, like I had communicated my limits prior. So he gave me a long dress. Naye unfortunately the long dresses could not fit me. They were very big. So we just had to improvise and use whatever was available. Our finalists twakozesa just whatever fitted you. Nenga here tewagenda kuforcing to come to this event. No, I can just say a clear no. Like Njakuwa, an example of Tribeya back in Uganda. She's Miss Uganda this year. You can see the kinds of events that she attends. And then also, as Ezonazo Zigenda Belam here, Miss Uganda UAE, Rakwa, of course, most of it we're not broadcasting it. But Miss Uganda is an ambassadorial role. It's not a role where we're gonna get over there here and there in the club. No, it's a very dignified role. Very dignified. That's all I can say. So it's obviously very easy for me to manage it. I'm a church girl and it's dignified, so it suits me very well.
Concept the answer I've gotten is tebakukaka kintu okibeera you choose your line and then you move that.
Thank you so much for designing. Naye, because of my values, I might not be able to wear it. Tewali wagenda kutema kom 20. Oh, genda fluma competition.
From you actually zinali manyi balina okuwa there is a certain level you have to get to nga buli kimu bo bwe deciding
No, not really. I tell that would make you a puppet.
Yeah. Okay, kati ekyo nze nkitegedde bwento actually I didn't and the answer has been gotten. Ekirala kye twagala okumanya nga gwe kati how do you feel being a Miss Uganda?
I feel very privileged and everyone that voted. Nobeanga, you didn't vote me, but you were part of the community of Ugandans here in the desert, Pearland Desert. So you were part of it. So I feel very privileged. It's an honor to represent Uganda everywhere. It's a big blessing. That's all I can say.
Don't you feel a bit, wanti waliwo abantu abasinga nga when they attain certain levels in life batandika okweraba nga abali waggulu abalala nga balala tebakyalina kyebabagamba, if that's the word I can use. Don't you feel any kind of pride that comes in with having this crown?
Pride in a good way, I feel it, but me, no, not at all. I see it as a privilege to serve Ugandans, represent Ugandans, speak for us, because I don't like the way Ugandans have been seen. Because I attended school here, I didn't have any Ugandan schoolmates. I didn't have anyone that knew any Ugandan schoolmate, nowhere. So everyone was like, I'm trying to tell them, because, when you're entering a new class, everyone is like, hi, which country are you from? I'm from Uganda. And most of them were actually thinking Canada. Like, I'm telling you Uganda, but you think I'm telling you Canada. So it's like they don't believe someone like this could come from Uganda, and that narrative should change. Because let me see, yesterday I was taking a taxi as well, and then the taxi guy is like, which country are you from? I'm like, I'm from Uganda. He's like, your English is too good to be Ugandan. That narrative must change. Ugandans were capable. We are very, and I love how our culture is that tuli bantu bampisa. Abana Uganda, like tuli very welcoming. That's how we welcome the explorers and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel so privileged and humbled versus pride that you asked for. I'm very humbled to carry this crown this year.
Wow, that's very beautiful. We are welcoming. Name Kwan. Anyways, what message would you deliver? Last message would you deliver to us that are watching you today? Because and another thing, of course, the people that were with you in the race, have you taken time to talk to them? Maybe encouraging them that maybe it's not them today. Maybe the next time they will be. Or you just took your crown and be like, I have a cigarette in quarter konze.
No, actually, the boot camp prepared us for all of this. I don't know, like, what everyone else's understanding of a boot camp is. Ne boot camp battle preparing mentally. They're like, okay, ne wobelanga sigwa wangu de. You know, you're still a queen regardless of that. So bina bya tugambwa da. Era twali you're there on stage, but you're like, if I don't take the crown, I'm still a queen. And, you know, I apply the things Apostle teaches us. You know, actually, it was that same season he was teaching a lot about envy, Ojukila, envy. So he teaches us that when you feel envious of someone, even a little ounce of jealousy comes out, you know, celebrate that person, post them, give them a gift. And then, like, we celebrate those that are higher than us and we bless those that are lower than us. So, siso ako downing auntie, I'm better than everyone else because I won this. Because this year's competition, honestly, was very tight. The judges confirmed it was a tight one. I think you saw the girls. And if we were basing off on looks, I would probably not be the Miss Uganda because the competition was very tight. We had talent, batupima empisa, batupima engeli to handling mu conflict. Like, the good thing is that they were very transparent with us in these things. I don't know if everyone considered that they were watching our every move. They're like, by the way, Echochiko's an image mind losing a max. Like, what would that click in your mind if they tell you that? So it was a very monitored environment. This situation has happened. Mugena reacting amutya. So all of these things were considered. So I put a fellow queen down because they did not win. No, they could have. It could have been it. There is a way in another universe it could have been them. So I'm just humbled.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was the what do we call it? I looked at you all guys. I mean, the girls were all young. Do they have any age limit for this?
Yeah, they do. They do, but actually the age limit here is not as strict as the one in Uganda. Here, our age limit was, of course, 18 to 27. Back in Uganda, I think it's only up to 25. Yeah, yeah.
The size. You were all slim.
It's just this year that the girls came out slim. Nainga, if you can go back to the previous year's pageants, they have big size girls. It's just that the big sizes didn't come this time
They
around.
didn't come on the venue when we were, when we were. They didn't come. Even the ones that came up, they were still small. Just that maybe they just gained us a few. Even in Uganda, actually, I've never seen a Miss Kabi.
No, I think it comes from confidence. Like most girls who are a bigger size, tebewulira. They're like, okay, ngende mzino abantu balyoke banvome bakolechi, you know. No, it's not just about size. Also, bagende you know bakuba ne personality. Like there is lots of things they judge you upon. You know.
Mubudde buli oba okwanawunsinga sooka ombulire how was your heart omutima gwali gubulira gutya kubanga nze that is the last in fact I felt like omanyi okuwulira nga osituddwa you is taken out and you are left empty so you are just waiting for a revive like the voice to come and tell you oh you have won and that is that's what siwagenda mipiira lw'ebyo bintu because njagenda finals olw'omupiira nze ngweri I cannot like seriously I cannot contain that pressure. You know, how did it feel like nga bayita ne bajjako basatu ne bajjako bana?
Actually, for me, like the very final moment where they announced me, I would say was the calmest inner moment for me, aside from having had to dance, having had to come and walk. That was the calmest moment for me. Because I was like, okay, Now this is it. It's just the two of us, and I rehearsed whatever we were taught in the boot camp. It's like, regardless of whether I take the crown or not, I'm still a queen. And if my fellow girl takes it, I will be so happy. So I think that was my calmest moment because I was not so calm when they were eliminating. Like I just got so emotional. First of all, because the first girl they eliminated, oh my god, because I had seen her improvement and everything. I was like, no, my Shayla. So yeah, it was that one didn't like my heart was not even beating. I even looked at even in the videos I was calmest at that moment on stage.
But I knew it was you. But I was really out. I was really out. That's what I only pray to God to give me the confidence to even. Man, I feel really mpulira nga nzigwawo nga ndi disappointed because if my expectations are high. Waliwo abawala abo inspiring olwaleero ng'okubeera Miss Uganda. Waliwo abaana abakulabira kati bagamba okay Mildred oba kikoze naffe tusobola okikola. Tugenda kumalako mwaka. And I would maybe ask you kindly okubaka ekigambo ky'ogamba oyo omuwala akutunuulira nga lw'olumodo we olwaleero nga tumalako omwaka because abasinga twatandika omwaka ne expectations and maybe some things have not come to life as we expected them to be. So what advice or what encouragement would you give to a girl or even a boy? Because of course if I look at you I really find the courage to do certain things, to step into certain spaces. Kati magezi kigonzo tuwaffe bwe wajjamu ekyo ekintu nti naffe tusobola okubeera omwaka nga guggwako oba si kinti munaye nina bye nasuubira oba Miss Uganda one of the people be wali nabo bambi magezi kigonzo okwogera oba kigambo kyosobola bagamba nga tumalako omwaka, any word of encouragement?
Okay, kinyinza okubagamba is that buli lunaku olutya weefubeeko okubeera better than yesterday. Wekibanga you have to learn a certain skills. These days, it's so easy to learn certain skills, honestly, because we have online schooling. COVID yajja, naleeta obulwadde and all of that, naye yajja with a certain shift in the education system. In that, many people who could not attend, let's say, university and college online, right now also work for a degree online. I think as, the fees you're paying are just a fraction of what you would pay while going to school. So I would advise you to get that education where you can. Even if it's one little thing that you're increasing about yourself. For example, like learning how to type. Let's say ofunye a laptop or muntuko laptop. There is things online or just typing, typing club, nekuigiza how to type. You never know how important that skill will be in the next big job you're gonna have. So wefubeko, work on your relationships with people. If you're using social media right now, the internet is a very good source of things. Because nokutu, some of the things that got us judged were our social medias. Bichibi posting audio bantu online. So improve yourself every day. Improve your relationships with people every day. Always pursue personal growth and stay true to yourself. That's all I would say.
Okay, personal growth. Being a competitor of your very self.
Yes.
Not people.
Yes.
Ddamu kigamba abantu emphasize it Miss Uganda because bwe tukyogera osanga munaife we are ordinary, they may not get it naye gwe bw'okyogera n'okiwa emphasis osanga it can make a difference. You said we should be a better version of ourselves, okay?
And actually, one of your biggest the enemies to your next big thing or progress can be your own self. Not that wicked auntie in the village who bewitches you at night, not your workmate, your colleague, not your boss. It's you. Like, okay, my boss has complained this about me. Okay, maybe he might have a bad intent about it, but what can I learn from it? Learning to take constructive criticism. Like, where will it where tereze. Yeah.
Nga gwe omuntu.
Yeah, nga gwe omuntu.
Oh, thank you so much. Weebale nnyo obudde bw'otuwadde. So I want you to close with any word and then we close off. Anything.
Okay. The night is young. I mean the night is old. Omwaka guli kumpi kugwako. Olusooka omwaka lujja n'olugwako omwaka luli mu kujja. So usually I would like to invite everyone to the 31st night of prayer with Phaneroo. In Uganda bagenda bela at Naguru. Those are the Phaneroo grounds. Here in the UAE, Nafe Manifest UAE, tugenda battle holding at the 31st. I will be there worshiping in choir. I'm just hoping like mukama engeri gyatujja mugenda omwaka nga tuli balamu. Okay, newobeera nga tofunye ebyo the list you made at the beginning of the year n'ogamba I should achieve this by this time. Noba tobifunye weeyanze mukama nti okyalina omukka. Cause the moment you're still alive, you can still do a lot of things. So the night of prayer. It's free.
Okay, thank you so much. Banange mwena abatulaba CIM Media. The full form of it is Christ in me. Yes, so we are here and we have had a very, very good time with our queen, Miss UAE Uganda 2025-2026. Omwaka lwaki balonda gugwako balina okubayo emyaka ebiri. So you guys keep watching. We shall bring more of such stories to inspire you, the Christian in this land. In this land, we are going to bring more of such stories to inspire you that you can become what you never expected, as long as you stay true and not lose your dignity. As she mentioned, you should not compromise to fit in. You should also set your own standards, as she has spoken clearly. So thank you so much for watching.